You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl. You know there's zombies on the prowl, and it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again, and you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time.
It's time we dive back into some beginner's guide content, ain't it? And with as large of a region like Louisville, what better topic to cover than some of the brand new sights and sounds of the city? There's dozens upon dozens of new landmarks and sites of interest, with hundreds of new buildings of all types. I'm also going to recommend that you install the Pillow Spawn mod and use that if you want to explore Louisville more in depth without having to break into the main gates like this is Ocean's 11. Now back on topic, we're going to be covering Louisville in depth today, but this will be done as several videos just due to Louisville's sheer size. In today's, we're going to cover the southern entrances into Louisville, as well as some of the more interesting locales in the southernmost parts of the city. One last thing before we dive in is I'd like to thank today's artist Foxfire for a lovely artwork, and I'd like to thank y'all for supporting the content. Now let's dive in, shall we? The entrance of the city is as fitting of a place as I could think to start, and to even get into Louisville, you'll have to break through a fence, either via smashing through the fences with a sledgehammer, or using the proper tools to dismantle the gates, or even smashing through the gates with a sledgehammer. If you don't want to hoof it on foot through the woods, there's 3 roads in the Valley Station that'll take you to Louisville, and many of the areas that now connect this region were mentioned in my Valley Station videos. The one you're most likely to already know is the one located at the northwestern road out of town, where the warehouse on the northern end of Valley Station is. This one's the simplest to get to and the simplest to get in through, as you can dismantle the gates to get through and let yourself into the southwestern side of Louisville. But be sure to keep in mind that this is a military checkpoint. There's a good few zombies here and they are feisty. This area also has a few military tents, lots of crates, so be sure to check thoroughly before you pass through. Now entrance 2 is located farther south. You proceed past the gas station and general store that leads eastward into the farmland of Valley Station. Continue down that road till you hit a 4-way intersection, one of which is a sand path to some farmhouses. Take the northern path, proceeding past some more farmhouses and through some woodlands until you hit a large fenced off area, and to the east will be a bombed and burned out town. If you're low on resources, you may be able to scavenge some stuff in the burned out buildings, as well as some banged up vehicles, which may be just what you need. Now to get into Louisville from this and the next route, you're going to need a sledgehammer to punch a hole in the fences, as otherwise you're not going to get through, as they don't have proper gates. They are just entirely wall. But these checkpoints do hold some other benefits, such as they often have generators that you can steal to help you establish a base, or a checkpoint of your own. And they often have a lower amount of zombies than the main checkpoint, as that road is the main highway into Louisville. The third and final route's located near the farthest farmhouse to the east. Once you get there, just continue past till you hit the final checkpoint. This one also has generators and a lighter presence of zombies. It's ideal if you want to sneak your way into the region. Now let's move on to some of the hot spots located in the south of the map, shall we? This train yard is actually one of the locations located outside the perimeter fences, so you can enter this area at any time, and it could be a good place to hit to prepare to assault the main entrance, as there's a pretty good amount of hardware equipment in the area, and even the potential for snacks and some miscellaneous equipment in the main headquarters. Otherwise, this sprawling complex also has rails that lead north past the fences, and you can follow the fences to take you to the northern rail yard, which serves as a sprawling, highly fenced area in the center of Louisville, and that could be an interesting place to base in that portion, but we'll discuss that more there. Otherwise, the southern train yard could also be used to live out that hobo fantasy of living in boxcars, but sadly, you won't be riding the rails. How cool would it be to, say, load a steam locomotive and use it to plow right through the fences? I think that'd be cool as shit. But now let's look at the quarantined off city, shall we? This mall, which is located in the Audubon region of the map, is a large shopping center which often ends up as my base of choice when in the region, especially on multiplayer, as it can provide plenty of resources and room for every player. I mean, this place has a sports store, an outdoor store, several clothing and hobby stores, a hardware store, a toy store, 2 restaurants, and even a bookstore. It's a fantastic haul and will usually secure you all the basics you need to secure it as well, minus a generator. What's even better is this place is located with a large amount of retail surrounding it. There's a Gigamart to the east, which has a large variety of everything within it as well, several smaller grocery stores which can secure you tons of food and drink, as well as a liquor store, and to the north is a small gas station, a Spiffos, and even a radio station, which can provide some nice electrical XP chances. This has been one of my favorite places to explore, and I keep getting lucky with Pillow's random spawns and spawning inside the mall, which if you don't know, if you spawn inside of a building, the entire building is empty of zombies, so it makes it taking over real easy. Overall, within this part of the region, it's definitely one of the best and centrally located to boot. Hell, there's also a school, a police station, several gas stations, a beef jerky hunting store, lots of stuff. If you want to reach this location, the best way to do it is by taking entrance 2 or 3, as entrance 1's quite a distance through hostile territory. Located to the west of the big ass mall, we've got a farming store. This place is a fantastic haul, not only due to the farming equipment that's here in spades, but there's also some high quality rain collector bales that are already filled with water, farming books that when coupled with the crops already growing outside in the fenced off area, you can get 4 to 6 levels of free XP if you're lucky, which can really help you get a jump start on your own farming. Plus it's a nice solid boost of food early game and potentially seeds. This place is also nicely located with a medical store in front of it, which is full of lots of drugs and meds and all sorts of equipment, and located directly south is a police station with a rather sizable armory, so crack that place open, grab some guns, and have a fun time. But don't go too crazy or you'll just be fertilizer to be stocked on the shelves of the store. It's about time the game had a proper hospital. I'm not talking just medical clinics. But be wary, for this place is less a hospital for healing and more about the hurting, cause it's got a big ass graveyard at this point with hundreds of the damned inside. I attempted to clean this place out on a stream the other day. I brought out hundreds of zombies with my horns. I set fire to them all. Yet when I went in, there were still hundreds more. I killed over 100 more in melee, and there were just more and more coming from the higher floors and stragglers who got stuck on the lower floors. While a fantastic source of loot of all kind, this place is just as likely to kill you as to save you. And given it's on the main road into Louisville, if you take the highway route, you may just come here first thing and accidentally doom yourself. Be careful when hitting this place, but if you can't take it, there's a lot of resources here of a variety of types. Plus there's also a gas station nearby, a burger joint, and more, and an isolated set of houses that can be used as a base to sneak into the region and set up. So this area is located across from the hospital, and it's a big region of factories and warehouses, just plumb full of resources just waiting to be plundered by you. That is, if you can avoid being eaten alive in many of the twists and turns of the buildings here. This place is a fantastic way to get set up on hardware and a variety of other resources, and it's also right off the main highway, but that also does mean there are a good amount of zombies in this region. So you will have to be careful to be ready to fight or run at any time. And also, due to the compact nature, be careful using fire or you may just burn down a large part of the region. There's 3 things Kentucky is known for: bourbon, fried chicken, and horse racing. And Churchill Downs is where the famous Kentucky Derby is held year after year, where horses compete to see who's the fastest and who will be converted into glue for hungry Marines to dip their crayons into. While this place definitely isn't the most exciting of places to raid for loot or fight off the hordes of the undead, it is a culturally significant landmark and also makes for a great waypoint, as it's located more near central Louisville along the same highway as the hospital mentioned earlier. Plus, with plenty of space, you could take it over and do whatever you wanted with this stadium. Maybe fortify it into a shanty town. There's a lot of possibilities with one of the few open spaces in this part of the map. This is a collection of large homes that run alongside the river on the western side of the city, and all of these houses are some of the nicer homes. With lots of space, some have full fences around them. Hell, some even have full docks with boathouses, while others will have no dock or just a small dock. But there's a lot of potential here, especially as they are a bit more isolated from the rest of the town, allowing you some seclusion before you rush in and loot. Couple this with some nice waterfront property, allowing you for a reliable source of water and fish in the winter, as well as plenty of dense woodland to forage in, and you've got an ideal base for taking a foothold in the city. Plus, hell, one of them even has a separate 3-bay garage that you could use to store your cars and work on them without being exposed to the elements as you work or the zombies. Overall, it's a pretty sweet area in this region. Another more rural inclusion on this list, and best access from the second or third entrance into Louisville. This area has a variety of farmhouses and large warehouses located in the farmland surrounding the town. This provides you with access to plenty of food, hardware, farming equipment, and safety via isolation, that is getting away from the big city. If you're wanting a bit farther out there place to launch raids into the city from, and not based directly into the chaos, then this is your place to consider, as the major roads running in this area can lead quite close to, say, Audubon Mall, the Gigamart, the entire shopping complexes out there, and all the boons those could provide, while still keeping your ass from being directly in the fire and giving you a place that's easy to run away from, especially once you've cleared out the highway. Now let's move on to the wrap-up, shall we? I think this just about covers a good variety of potential loot and base points, as well as some more interesting landmarks within the southern half of Louisville, and this should help you to locate some material of worth to you and get you exploring this fantastic update. This map is huge though, and there's a ton of little interesting places tucked all over. So get out there, explore, use the map, and learn where you can find the base your heart desires. Now, I'd like to thank y'all all for the support, including all the people hanging out in the streams. I'd also like to announce I've launched a Patreon, so if anyone wishes to support the channel, get your username listed in videos, as well as access to a different part of the Discord, then please consider tossing a buck or two my way. I'd also like to thank the lovely Foxfire for her fantastic artwork. This has been Core, and I'll see you in the next part where we will tackle the central and northern parts of Louisville, which has a lot more of the shopping centers and the high rises you would expect from a major city.